Today we are going to review how to perform measurements for a MaestroShield exterior screen. The two different common types of mounts that you will run into will be a surface mount, meaning you're mounting the unit on the outside of the opening, or a track mount, meaning you're mounting the unit completely within the opening itself. Today we're going to start with the surface mount and how you would provide the measurements for the surface mount. In a surface mount case, you're always going to want to give your daylight opening measurements. That means the area that your customer has viewability through, your daylight opening, so it's an unobstructed viewing area for your customer. So to provide daylight opening measurements, and any measurements that you're going to do for a screen, you're always going to do two measurements, on the width and on the height. On the width, you're going to do one towards the bottom, and don't forget, we're doing our daylight opening. So we're going to come right in here, and our measurement is 108 3/4. Now we're going to come up, and we're also going to do that same measurement towards the top, just to figure out how plumb we are or are not. That measurement is 108 right on the dot. So in this case, we have 108 3/4 at the bottom and 108 inches of clearance at the top. In a surface mount, you will always take the greater of the two. And that's because you just want to be able to make that clearance. So if you took the area up top where we have 108 inches, where you got down here, that 108 inches would put you within the opening itself. Our next measurement today, still on the surface mount, is going to be a height measurement. So we are going to again take two measurements. One will be on your left side, and we're doing daylight opening. We're at 92 inches on our left side, and our right side is 90 inches. So in this case, we're still going to take the 91 inches. And the reason being is we want to make sure we have a length to accommodate both. If you want our production team to cut them down so that when you get receive them at the job site, you don't have to do any cut downs on site, you can do that. Just make sure to notate it in the comment area on the T.O.M program. Now we're going to introduce you to an exterior screen trap mount. Mounting the exterior screen in a trap mount needs to be mounted within the actual opening itself. For this, you are going to give us your finished measurements. The reason being, this is your opening, but if you tried to give us your daylight opening measurements, that would mean you would add on to them. In this case, you have to give us your finished measurements, because finished means it's outside of the track to the outside of the track on the other end, from the very top of the hood to the bottom. So that's your overall measurements, and you need that unit with its overall measurements to be able to fit right within this opening. So for a trap mount, you're going to give us your finished measurements, and to do that, you're going to measure from one end of the opening to the other, but making sure that measurement is right within your opening itself. So down on here, we have 108 3/4, and up here, we have 108. So in this case, with it being a trap mount, we're going to take the measurement of 108 inches. And the reason being is if you try to take the measurement of 108 3/4, you wouldn't be able to fit that in where you only have room for 108 inches of clearance. So you're going to take the 108 inches for your overall final measurement. And then that way your unit will reside right within the opening itself. That's why it's very important on a trap mount to always give finished measurements, and always check your overall finished measurements to make sure they're accommodating your install and your openings on a whole. An additional measuring situation that you can run into occurs in trap mounts on an unplumbed install. So what that would mean, in this case, what we've been working with here today, we know we have a plumb install, but let's say this wasn't, meaning the top measurement or the bottom measurement varied from each other more than an inch. In that case, you would need to plumb up the opening first to allow that screen to travel evenly. The solution that we have for that is in our receiving channel. Our receiving channel allows for the adjustable track to fit right in, and it will float so that you're allowed to plumb up that opening to allow the screen to travel evenly. To elect the receiving channel in T.O.M, you will just elect a tracked mount with receiving channel. So now we're going to perform our height measurement on a tracked mount. To do a height measurement on a tracked mount, you're going to measure from the top of the opening down to the bottom. Very much like you would a surface mount, it's just the number that you're going to report back to us and into the T.O.M program is going to be a different measurement. So on a track mount, you're going to measure from the bottom of the opening all the way down to the bottom of the floor. In this case, this measurement was 92 3/4, and we have 92 inches. So you're still going to measure each side. You want to measure your left and your right hand side, your right and your left hand side, depending upon how you're looking at it. And you're always going to give us the larger of the two measurements, and then you can cut down the other one to size. And while we're on this, if you ever want to add an additional inch to your overall measurement, feel free. Some people do because they had a previous supplier that maybe added an additional inch. Other people will also do it in a track mount to make sure that the back of that track butts right up to the hood. So if you want to include an additional inch, you can go ahead and add that.